I have a couple notes on his human design too, so I'll talk about that a little bit. He's actually, which is, it's also kind of known as like the pioneer, the initiator, the one that starts stuff. And they're very active and going in. They have what they call an internal nonverbal creative flow that they follow. And so these types of people are just the ones that make an impact and kind of start new things, and they can influence people really intensely, or they can establish a whole new thing. Like J.R.R. Tolkien was a manifestor. The Lord of the Rings guy. J.K. Rowling, same thing. With the Harry Potter stuff. Adolf Hitler with his Nazism. And then we've got some actors and stuff that are manifestors as well. Johnny Depp, Jack Nicholson, Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Aniston. But yeah, so their purpose is to lead change by inspiring others into action. So that's what all those people do. So his profile in human design is the 5-1, which is the heretic investigator. So the heretic, that's line 5. That's the visionary leader, the teacher, the savior. These types of people, they deal with projections and expectations of others all the time. So it's like people are projecting shit onto him all the time, and he has to deal with the projections and make sure that the way he's being seen is true to who he is. He's not just getting bullshit all the time. But the thing is, he struggles with this. People say he's like a conservative, or they demonize him somehow, or I don't know, make him anti-feminist somehow. I don't know. People who don't really understand him are projecting all kinds of shit onto him. This is like the archetype of Jesus. Jesus went through the same thing. He's the leader, teacher, savior, and they ended up crucifying him. So it's pretty tough. So the second part of that is the investigator, line 1, and that's it's you're getting really into the details of things. Very investigative, curious, and introspective. You need to spend a lot of time to understand things before you actually take action on things. So that explains why he gets so much into the details with his work. And you hear when he speaks, like how he gets into all the little details and explains things very logically. So, when you have these two together, I mean, this is, other 5-1 profiles, the heretic investigator. Hitler, again, he was, he's also a heretic investigator. Aleister Crowley is one. Martin Luther King Jr., Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ken Wilber, the spiritual teacher, Putin, Bernie Sanders, and George Bush. These people are seen by some as saviors, but then they deal with a lot of projections from other people, and it's something that they have to work through. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that he has that, though. You can totally see that energy. It's totally obvious. So his incarnation cross is called the Cross of Confrontation, and his life theme is to take a leadership role in situations that need change, showing others how things should be done. So he just sees that people aren't doing things in a way that could be as useful to them. So he assists people in taking charge of their lives to bring about significant personal growth. So that's totally what he does. He talks to people. He's telling them, you got to get your life together. You got to go in a certain direction. You got to have an aim, and you got to work towards something. You got to be responsible, or else your life doesn't really have any meaning. And it's totally true what he talks about. So that's what he's here to do. And what's crazy about this stuff like Vedic astrology and human design is this information was available. I mean, the system didn't establish itself until like in the 2000s, I think, the human design one at least. But you could have, if it was there, you could have checked when he was born and figured this shit out and see that he's what he's going to do. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy that this stuff actually talks about your life, and then you can see it in action with the people, when you start studying this stuff. So let's talk about each of the keys that are part of his incarnation cross. It's the 45, the 26, the 36, and the 6. So the 45 is the shadow is dominance, the gift is synergy, and the city is communion. So, I mean, this essentially makes him an authority figure, and he acts as a focal gathering point for people, ideas, dreams, and enterprises. Evolution. Shadow is pride, gift is artfulness, and the city is invisibility. This gives him the ability to speak and communicate with power. His radiance, the third gene key in his chart, is shadow's turbulence, gift is humility, and the city is compassion. And this actually makes it so he experiences life through his feelings and emotions, which need to be felt and expressed, and that's what he does. And the last one, his purpose, is the shadow is conflict, the gift is diplomacy, and the city is peace. And it makes him focus on making the world a more open and honest place. And he wants to work on the new human. That's part of his vision. As it must be, create some kind of new human who's actually getting shit done and going in a certain direction and actually changing the world and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's crazy to see that this stuff totally fits with him, that, this is what he does with people. He's a leader, and he's showing people how to do things the right way, and, really influencing people for sure. So look at his channels a little bit. The channels are these lines connecting the different centers. So, he's got the mind, or the ajna, right here, this green triangle. That's the mind. And this one right here is the throat. So these are connected through the 1762. This makes it so he absorbs all facts and details and presents concrete and convincing opinions and arguments. He's got his own way of thinking. He's got his own internal mental process that he's engaged in all the time. I actually don't have this filled in, so mine's much different. When this is open, and you kind of take in other perspectives and play with them, and so you can see many different sides. But he's got his own way of thinking that he's built into himself, with tons of facts and details to make these convincing opinions and arguments. So his next channel he's got is the jack of all trades. It's connecting his emotions to his throat, and this gives him the thirst to experience life. It makes him a passionate thrill seeker. It gives him an active life, because the emotions going to the throat must give that thrill. He's got this channel connecting the throat to the self center. So he's got his own direction and his own experiences that he's going in a certain direction. That's what the self center is, and it's a leadership channel, and it basically means that you know, as the prodigal, it's like you're having your own experiences and then you're really reflecting on them deeply. This provides direction and creative guidance, makes them empathic, and makes it so you can assimilate personal life experiences, like I was saying, into wisdom. So he provides the wisdom to others through his own experience, and he leads in that way through what he's experienced and what he talks about. And the last channel he's got is connecting the heart center right here, the red triangle, to the spleen on the left. This makes him a creative being, a master manipulator, a charming messenger, and means that he's striving to improve the world through creative concepts. So, you know, you're seeing all these things. He's very intellectual. He's got passion for life. He's a leader. He's got wisdom. He's a messenger. You know, all that stuff is present in these channels that he's got. So that explains them quite a lot.